Hey, what is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Polkadot and a bit of the overall crypto market as it's starting to come back down. Today we have a very red day after the huge green day yesterday. We're going to be jumping into all of that in just a second, but before we do, make sure you guys go check out the Discord down below. You can see on the screen right now just how many trades our members have been winning from simply joining up and starting to copy and paste the trades that we're sending out to them every single day. So yeah, make sure you join up. Super easy to do so and super easy to copy along with us. We've had over an 85% win rate over the past few months, so make sure you join up. Now back to the video. So yesterday was a huge green day across the entire board. We even had the S&P have one of its biggest days that I've ever seen, up 9% or 10% maybe. I don't know the exact amount, but we can actually check that right now. It ended the day being up over 10%, which is huge for the S&P. That's trillions of dollars. Now today it's back down 3%, and this is mostly due to the comeback of Donald Trump announcing a further increase on the tariffs in China. He increased it to 145%. And if you remember in yesterday's video on HBAR, we actually talked about the entire market probably coming back down, as I didn't believe that this pump would last. Now the main reason is simply due to the fact that nothing has changed. Yesterday Trump announced the pause on all country tariffs apart from China. However, China is the main target for the tariffs. It always has been. All the other countries were sort of a distraction and to sort of allude to the fact that the US isn't really targeting China indicatively, where in fact it is. So that's where we're at right now, and the market situation hasn't really changed. It's been the same for the past few weeks ever since Trump has announced his launch on tariffs. Now how that looks for the crypto market, well, it's not the best. We've already been down to 75,000 on Bitcoin, and we've started to establish this level as a support, but I think the bottom will be somewhere around here, 74 to 69, 68,000, around this area right here. I do think we're going to continue to go lower. A lot of coins will suffer, mostly altcoins like Ethereum, like Polkadot, and that's because of this Bitcoin dominance climbing back up slightly. Yeah, it's not looking amazing. However, that does mean we get more opportunities. We're now able to dollar cost average in a lot lower than we would have if this would have been the bottom and we continue to pump. It also allows us to hedge our positions by shorting. So a few days ago we shorted coins like API3, Polkadot, Ethereum, from a bit of the highs before it started to dump off a lot. We took profits on Monday, and yeah, that was a very good hedge, which by the way you could have been a part of by joining the Discord down below, first link in the description. But no, we even said in the video, I showed my exact position which you could have still entered. But regardless, it's so important in this market to be hedging your positions, especially considering the fact that we are dumping off quite a lot, and the fact that a lot of people do still hold their long-term portfolios, which even I do myself. So yeah, it's very important. Now overall, how low could Polkadot go? Well, we're approaching very scary territory, and it's scary because Polkadot hasn't actually been this low forever. If we sort of zoom out here, we can see we actually wicked $3.20, which it hasn't touched in over 5 years, really ever since its launch on Binance. So that's really crazy, and we're entering price discovery now to the downside. However, I still think there is value left in Polkadot, and the one thing you have to remember is when the market starts to go up, everything starts to go up. It's not like there's only going to be a specific certain amount of coins that move. Sure, some coins might move more than others, but the entire market usually will go up when it starts going up. It's just common knowledge. So I think the value here on Polkadot is very good. I still have belief in the project, and I think anywhere under $4, again, like I've said in multiple videos, is a great DCA level. If we're targeting the previous highs, at like $11, it's great. We're gonna get over 3x, and every time in the past that we've gone to under $4, we've always come back up to roughly $11 every single time in the past. This was the first time we obviously hit 55 in 21, and then previously in 2023 we climbed up from $3.70 all the way up to nearly 12, and then again in 2024 we climbed up from $3.70 all the way back up to $11.60. So it happens every time. Historically, it should happen again now. We are just in a slightly different market condition than we were in these two periods. However, that is not saying that it can't do it. as well. What we're looking for on Bitcoin, there's not actually a specific thing where we're looking for in a specific crypto like Bitcoin or Bitcoin dominance. This entire crash is fueled by the trade war and the tariffs, because the key thing you have to remember is China needs the US and the US needs China. You know, they work harmoniously together. The US is one of the biggest importers of Chinese goods, and China is, you know, the biggest manufacturer, the biggest exporter to the US. So they both need each other, and right now it's obviously not going too well. So, you know, if they're able to hash things out and negotiate a great deal, then I think Trump is definitely the man to do so. Out of all the presidents, I think he's most well equipped to negotiate a great deal, and when he does, I think you'll see the market rally back up onwards. So I think there will be a deal, because again, you have to remember, you know, for Apple, they do their manufacturing in China, so it took China decades to, you know, fully facilitate all their manufacturing, to get their strategies in place. I don't think the US is able to do that within 5 years, and companies like Apple can't survive 5 years, you know, with 200% tariffs and no manufacturing in the US. So although Apple might have a huge deal, multi-billion, maybe even $1 trillion deal to start manufacturing in the US, it's going to take a lot of time before that actually begins. So yeah, huge things to really think about. And you have to remember, this isn't a crypto crash, it's an entire market crash. So, you know, whatever you invest in, whether that's stocks or crypto, everything's crashing. Now it's just about not cutting your losses, but buying in at the right times and the right areas. Yesterday, well, it would have been a horrible time to buy in because the entire market was pumping. You know, you have to really zoom out of the picture whenever there is a slight bit of good news that causes this pump. You have to always zoom out and think, why are we pumping? You know, has actual market sentiment changed? Are we going to go back down? Has nothing really changed in the market? Everything like that. Because nothing changed yesterday. We only got a pause on EU tariffs, and the EU and US, you know, already work together quite well. There's practically no major imports, exports from there. Everything is from China, and that's why we're continuing to dump today, and we're going to continue to dump until all of that is hashed out. So that's where we're at right now with the crypto market. As for DOT, we're looking to continue to DCA down. Our take profits are still the same. Yeah, we just have to be patient and wait. Now, if you did find the video helpful and you did enjoy it, please do make sure to like and subscribe, as it does help out a ton. And if you need a place to actually buy, sell, or trade cryptocurrency, then check out Mexi, which is the main exchange that we're working with, down below. When you use my link to sign up, you'll get some cheaper fees and some nice sign-up bonuses. And if you want to be copying my trades every single day, then check out the Discord down below. First link in the description, super easy to join up, and we have an amazing team sending out trades every single day. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.